So, welcome all. I'm doing this from my office here at home, and we are first live here for Table Talk, Real Estate, Family, and Legacy. Hopefully, you all can hear me. I am again. This is the first time. I'm going to try to do this with confidence and kick it off. But the biggest issue families have is not having conversations. And what I mean by not having conversations is waiting until it's too late to discuss any kind of planning, any kind of structure, what their final wishes are, um, who they would like to have contacted, who would they like to have uh, know, like doctors, attorneys, things like that nature. All right. The easiest way that we've always had these conversations, my parents and I, was it just happened naturally. It just would happen. Um, Piece of mail would come in, uh, article on TV, watching the news, anything that would strike the conversation was what brought up the conversation. And when my parents passed away, I knew exactly everything that I was getting. Maybe not monetarily, didn't know what were in the accounts, didn't know how much stock there was, didn't know any of that stuff. But I knew where to find it. I knew where to access it. And that is the biggest issue that families face is that they're not prepared. An unprepared estate is the worst estate to ever deal with, especially if you've had sick parents and went through the stressors, went through the depression, went through the arguments with either family members or them being sick, and they pass away. Now all of a sudden you have an extra level of stress that you don't need. There's no reason to have it. There's no reason to deal with it. It's a very simple, easy conversation to have. And this is what I tell people that I come in contact with, that watch my videos, that come to my seminars or my presentations is blame me. Simply blame me. We do this in the real estate world all the time. If something is brought up about pricing, about contracts, about this, about that, it's always blame our broker, blame our ownership, and let them take the heat. Let them explain the situation to keep you out of it, to keep you sane. So when you are talking to your family members, say, hey, I was watching this guy on YouTube and he was discussing about conversations. He was discussing about family. He was discussing this. He was discussing that. Are you prepared? Like, are you set up with a will? Are you set up with a trust? Are you like, what is going to happen when you pass away? How am I going to, or how are we going to be able to get through that? All right. And you want to hear, yes, we are set up. This is where you find this. This is where you find that. This is who you call. This is who you talk to. If they're not telling you that, there's an issue. You need to have a deeper conversation. And I know that talking about something like that is taboo in many families. They don't want you to discuss it because they're afraid it might happen. Well, guess what? It's either going to happen sooner or it's going to happen later. But either way, it's going to happen. And would you rather it be that you've had that conversation, you've talked to a financial planner, you've talked to an accountant, you've talked to an attorney that deals with elder care type of scenarios, and you are prepared, you are set. If something happens, there's an insurance behind it. Something happens, there's a piece of paper that says I have power of attorney to help my mother or help my father or help my grandparents with their financial stuff until they are capable again to do it. Those people that are not set up with that are looking at stress that you will not believe. I was set up pretty well. I could have been set up a whole lot better too. When my mom had her stroke, there was no power of attorney. Luckily, after my father passed away, she added me to one or two of the checking accounts, just in case something like this happened. And that was how she got me around it. But it would be simple just to have a power of an attorney letter stating that you can access accounts or things like that. So there is a myriad of forms of contracts that you can fill out, that your parents can fill out to make sure that what they want, what their wishes are going to be held up and taken care of. So just for an instance here, I did a presentation for my Life and Legacy the other night, and I had two families in there, two couples. One was older, and they're probably late 60s, 70s, or maybe. Another couple was in their 40s, and they both had stories on things that have happened to them. And if they had some more knowledge, they would have been able to avoid some of it. One, luckily, talked to the right person and was able to get help. The other, unfortunately, his father passed away before he had an opportunity to get information from him. Now bank accounts are locked up. He can't get to them. He's talked to attorneys. There's nothing he can legally do to access those accounts until a 2-year time period or something goes by of them being inactive, or him being able to prove that he's passed away, or however that judicial system area works. He was told he's pretty much beat for 2 years. Now, he admitted there's not a lot of money in the account, so it's not like a life-changing event, but still, what if it was a life-changing event for you and you could not access that stuff? It could take care of your mother. I mean, well, if your mother is still alive and your father passes away, everything's going to convey over to her anyway. So she's still going to have access to it. But let's say it's just one parent still alive, just scenario-wise, one parent still alive, the other passes away now, or that parent passes away, and you can't access anything, right? It could have been they were paying for your children's monthly school dues, and now all of a sudden you can't access it, and your kid's waiting to go to school, and you can't pay for that stuff. Or they were paying your homeowner's insurance, so they were helping you out financially somehow, and now you can't access that money because nothing was prepared. That is horrible feeling. Scary. It's stressful. It creates in family fighting. Preparation is the best and only way you can overcome any of this stuff. Okay? Another instance, this other gentleman, his father had passed away. His mother was entitled for veteran assistance or something like that, but there was too much money. She was making, or she had too much money in the account to be eligible. So he went and talked to a couple of accountants, a couple of attorneys. Nobody could figure out how to help them or what they were doing. He talked to one attorney and said, yeah, there's this form here. We just fill this form out, and you and your two siblings can take a $50,000 pre-inheritance. So in other words, 150 comes out of the account somehow. I don't know really how it all worked, but it was a pre-inheritance form, basically stating that that money has been set aside for her children, which brought her income down, which made her eligible. Now, like he said, it was only a few months, maybe a year later, she passed away. She was in her 90s, but it gave her extra money just from filling out this one form. And she didn't have to dip into her savings. She didn't have to use that extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month from her savings. Over the course of a year would have been $40,000, $50,000. All right. But this form saved their inheritance, saved her from being stressed out and everything on having to use her in her savings. So there are many different forms out there that can help and protect families from losing a lot of wealth and a lot of time and a lot of, again, I keep saying it's stress. And that's what it is. It is stress. I have been on the prepared side of this, and I have been on the unprepared side of this. And I'm an only child. So when my parents passed away, pretty much everything rolled over to me. But my wife's side, there's 4 siblings. There wasn't much fighting, but there was a couple of issues that arose that could have been completely foregone on if there was a will in place. And there was not a will in place. All right. There was a will in place, it would have just been ABC, this one, this, good night, goodbye, and onward we go. But no. So things drug out. Things were done. Things were said. And it finally, about a year later, got all settled and hashed out. So there are a few stats that I've come across. And one is from care.com that 76% of Americans will pass away without some type of will or estate planning system set up. Imagine that. There's only 24% of people that feel it's necessary to have something in writing. That's crazy. And that is why we have such an issue sometimes when it comes to people passing away, and all of a sudden they lose all of this time, they lose all of this money, they lose the homes, they lose the cars, because there's timelines. Like, you need to pay your parents' mortgage if there's still a mortgage on the home, or the homeowner's insurance, or the taxes, and you have your own stuff to worry about financially. So you need that money that they have access to or have in their accounts that now you can't access. What happens? You don't pay the taxes, they put a lien on it. Depending on how long this draws out, taxes aren't paid on the house, they put a lien on it, they put a tax break, they do something to where in 2 years you could possibly lose the house. Crazy. All from a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper that they fill out. They make their wishes, they fill it out. It costs them a couple of hundred to a couple $1,000, and it saves so much aggravation and stress. It is just mind blowing that 76% of Americans don't have this set up. If it is set up, it saves you anywhere between 4 to 10 months of work and aggravation. And this is in some of my other videos, but I figured I would throw it out on a live here in case we got some comments in here. And, I could help out. And that's what I'm looking to do. I was very fortunate. My wife and I were very fortunate to have it shake out the way it shaked out. Unfortunately, everybody was ill. Things happened. But they did what they needed to do to make sure that we were set up. And it would have been very difficult if it was not set up that way. I knew the attorney who was a family friend. I knew the banker. I knew the employees that they worked with. So if there was questions, I could call and say, hey, I need this. Who do I call? Who do I contact? All right. There are so many people out there that don't even know who their parent's attorney is. They don't know who they're banking with. And I will admit, for the last 10 to 15 years, probably banking has changed from what it was when my parents were alive and 20, 25 years ago, where you went to the bank, you trusted your banker. Your banker was always there. I go into a bank now and it's different people every other week. So it's very difficult to be able to say, hey, this is so-and-so, and if you have an issue, this is who you're going to have to talk to. All right? Especially with all these online banks and online things coming in. So I say that to help and protect you all. And again, just blame me for bringing it up. Just say, hey, Eric from YouTube was discussing this, and it made me start thinking. It made us start thinking. Are we prepared? Are we ready? And it may not even be your parents. It could be yourselves. If you're in your mid-40s, 50s, start thinking about this, because you never know what's going to happen. And it would be a crime if your children weren't set up. If something happened, who's going to happen to your children? Who's going to legally take them? Is it your parents? Is it your in-laws? Is it your sister? Is it a brother? Right? Who's going to legally take them if something happens to you? Right? The money. How does that go? Who gets it? Does it get split? Does it get put into a trust? There are so many things that people do not set up for. And as we grow this community, as we grow this channel, we're only a couple of weeks into this. I feel like we're going to have a lot more people comment on situational videos that we do, situational issues that come up. Just like my Life and Legacy presentation, only 2 couples in the room, 4 people and my financial advisor, and they had issues. Can you just imagine that? Right? 4 people, and they both had an issue. They both had, one had a solution, and the other will have a solution down the road as to how to deal with this, because he's still early on in that process. It's crazy that 4 people showed up and they had an issue. Can you imagine how many other people, millions of people in this country, that have an issue that can easily help somebody out in this comment section, in the videos? in the Facebook group that I have and just simply say, hey, this form or this attorney in this state or this area helped, this accountant helped, this financial planner helped, this realtor helped. Okay. So, yes, I am in real estate. And yes, I would love to help your families out with these situations, especially if it is a situation on real estate. I have recently joined the KW Real Estate Planner community. And the real estate planner community helps families deal with the wealth of their real estate. We're not there just to sell it and make our money. We are there to provide extra help as to how to navigate to sell, hold, or even rent that property to continue the legacy, to continue the financials coming in without having to sell it. Some instances, it's probably going to be easier to sell it. In some instances, it might be easier to do an exchange. In some instances, it might be easier to hold it, keep it in the family, have the family move into that home, and have them rent their other home. And now you still have income coming in, extra income that nobody thought about. All right. Instead of paying the taxes on a big sale, you move some stuff around and you'll be set. So if you are in any of those situations, when it comes to the real estate end of, let's say your parents are going to have to go into assisted or independent living, and that house is going to either need to be sold or need to be transferred with an exchange or something, let me know. Let me know what state you're in. You don't have to put it in the comments. All right. You can directly get to me through YouTube somehow, or you can find me on somehow you'll find me. Right. But if you need it, my email is ericmartin1@kw.com. You can email me there. I will get your email and then we can converse. But the community that we are part of, everybody needs to be certified in certain aspects. So we have real estate specialists. We have people that are specialized in 301k or 301 exchanges. We have people that are in probate, specialize in trusts. So I can find those people through our community and get your information to them, and they will know how to help you in the best possible way. All right. My take and input on this channel is to help in a larger scale, help people that are in over their heads, right? They're in over their heads and they don't need to be. If they have just the conversations before to start it out with mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, even brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, anybody. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Because if you are not, you are doing your family a huge disservice. All right. Like I said at my presentation, there's going to be 3 types of people in the audience. There's going to be somebody who's going to listen to everything and not do a damn thing about it. There's going to be somebody who listens to it and is already kind of involved in doing it, but can take bits and pieces from what I bring up and I discuss and lay it into their plans. And there's going to be somebody in there that never thought about doing anything and is going to take everything I said and go home and start instituting it. 2 of those people are going to positively impact their family. The other one negatively impact their family. And they're not even going to be around to see it. They're not even going to be there to see how not preparing can possibly destroy a family, can possibly create a rift between relatives, between siblings, between, it's just, I can't even explain. Like, I went to a networking group this morning, first time I was there, and I described what I do and how we do it. And it was so well received because it wasn't just, oh, I sell properties. I created a YouTube video, hopefully YouTube University here for people who need the assistance, the need to jump, the need to push, right? What happens when mom or dad go into the hospital? What happens if the banks don't allow this? What can we do here? What can we do there? It's all personal experiences that I've dealt with, and other people that have come to me and said, hey, I had this issue. This is how we got around it. Or I have this issue. How do we fix it? Now I can kind of go and figure out how to fix it either on my own and help them, or find them the people to help fix it. Or they've already fixed it, and now I can help tell you how to fix that situation. So please just have those conversations. It all starts with a conversation. So we will see you here again next Thursday, 6 p.m. Wait, next week is Thanksgiving. So we might do something a little earlier. I don't know yet. Maybe a little later. We will be on because Thanksgiving is a time where families that have lost loved ones need a little support, need a little help, right? To feel a little down, holidays. So we will hopefully do something next Thursday. I might just pop on a live. I may not even schedule it. But if you see it and you want to jump on, love to have you.